Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. It's Friday. It's Friday morning. It's another it's another shitty day. It's the fourth day of summer, and Sydney, you haven't disappointed. You've delivered another crappy day for summer. 4 days in a row of shitty weather. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to make the most of it, and it's not going to impact us at all, because we're going to see the sun and the beauty in everything around us. So let me kick off today with a book summary. We've got a little seagull here as an audience. Yasul, how you going? And we'll do a book summary today on a wonderful book that I just read, or a book summary that I just read, entitled Take Control of Your Life. And it's written by a female author, Mel Robbins. I love reading books by different authors, because they've all got different perspectives, they've got different spins, they've got different ways of expressing things. And women also have a special way of putting things and making things beautiful. So I love Mel's style. And her book is basically a call to action, and her call to action is to learn how to win the game and to silence fear. So we'll go through a few points and just see where it leads us on this gloomy but still and beautiful day. Look at the colours of these ferries over here. And the first thing that Mel tells us is that we mustn't fear losing control. A lot of people hold on to things, are stiff in their engagement with people and with situations around them, are very rigid and conservative, and don't allow themselves to express and feel the full spectrum of life, because they fear that they'll lose control. But Mel reminds us, good old Mel reminds us, that you always have control of your life. So don't worry, release the handbrake and push off and enjoy the ride. Because she says that by trying to keep control, you are screwing things up. By trying to maintain control, by being a control freak, you're not only screwing things up for yourself, but you're also screwing things up for those around you. Important message, a very, very deep and important message, because you're having an impact not only on yourself, but people around you. And you've got to ask yourself, what the hell are you scared of? Why do you need to control yourself and people around you? And that in itself is an important exercise of revelation, where you can sit down and just try and figure out what is causing you grief, because whatever is causing you grief will end up causing everybody around you grief, because we all know that other people's problems end up becoming our problems. So don't become the problem of the people around you. You've got to ask yourself a question, a very, very basic question. What makes you light up? Now, what are the things in your life that make you light up? Who are the people in your life that make you light up and bring out the best in you? And the key is, you've got to let yourself go to do the things that you want to do, because each and every one of us, as we've said time and time again, has a different calling, and we've got multiple callings, and each of these callings will come to us at different times and stages of our lives. So you just need to open up and embrace them as they appear. And as Maslow has informed us in terms of his hierarchy of needs, the most important thing for all of us is that we need to grow and develop. We need to continue to grow and develop, and we just can't stay stagnant in any one place for too long, because if you're not growing and developing, then the opposite is happening. You're atrophying and dying. So that is a big, big warning for each and every person, that you need to continue to grow. And you grow until the day you die. You grow in your faith, you grow older, you grow stronger, you grow weaker, but you need to keep on doing things to maintain and enhance what you already have in order to be able to live the full spectrum of life. And the author also talks about that we shouldn't overthink and over-fantasize too much, because a lot of people spend a lot of time fantasizing their future and what they want to do and who they want to be and how they want to look and how they want to feel. But the author says if you sit there and fantasize it too often, then that fantasy alone will trick you into thinking that you've actually achieved it and delivered it. Her call to action is to decide, and it's really, really quick. A decision you can make in a heartbeat. Decide what brightens you up and lights you up, and as long as it's aligned to your goals and your values, and it doesn't cause grief to each and every person around you, then decide and do it now. So, don't get caught up with trying to be too controlling, because it's a false sense of comfort. And at the end of the day, as we said before, it's going to stuff things up for you and stuff things up for other people. By all means, have self-control and allow yourself to stick on a path which is going to allow you to grow and develop. But don't be controlled by fears, don't be controlled by irrational fears, and don't be controlled by negative people who will hold you in a constant state of fear, uncertainty and doubt. Because we are surrounded by purveyors of fear, uncertainty and doubt. People who are telling us that the world's coming to an end, people who are telling us that the economy is going to crash, and people who are just focused on everything which is negative. And we all know that less than 10% of those things that we fear will actually materialize in our lives, so don't worry about it. So write it down, think about it, decide it, because you need to state it in order to create it, is the catch cry, which is a beautiful one. And to focus on progress. We need to focus on progress and not perfection. Just always try and move forward one step at a time, and to focus on progress as opposed, as we said before, to perfection. Because if you focus on perfection, then you're always going to be disappointed. Perfection may be a goal to try and reach one day, but every single day, every single moment, we need to be progressing and bettering ourselves compared to ourselves, and not overly worrying about baselining ourselves to everybody else or trying to keep up with everybody else. So once again, we need to focus on what brightens us up, what fires us up, what electrifies us, what makes you feel good. And as long as that's aligned, as I said before, to your values and your goals, then that's what we need to align to. And they're the people that we need to align to as well. So we need to do, as we said, a self-audit. And not to hang out or to limit our exposure to negative people and negativity, because that's just going to get us down and spiral us out of control. The great advice that this author gives is that if you're a negative person, you must not, I repeat, must not hang out with negative people. because what's going to happen is that your negativity will spiral into depression because of the fact that you're associating with negative people all the time, and all you're doing is just fueling that fire of negativity, and your little waves, your little trickles, your little ripples of negativity will end up becoming tsunamis that will not only overwhelm you, but will overwhelm the people around you. So if you want to be depressed, be negative. If you want to be more depressed, hang out with negative people. So there's a warning there. The advice to parents is that they should be rewarding action and effort and not traits in children. So teach children to focus on progress as opposed to perfection, and to try and improve and do their own personal bests as opposed to trying to be something which is unrealistically out of their hands. And the author also talks about the importance of showing up. The key is to show up and to face rejection. And if you do that time in and time again, then you're going to win the game, according to Mel. The other thing that Mel talks about, which I found really interesting, is that if you're coming up with excuses, if you're an excuse giver or excuse creator, what you're basically doing is you're expressing your fear. If you're coming up with excuses as to why you can't do things, then all you're doing is just telling the world, expressing loud and clear to everybody what your fears are. So listen to your self-talk, listen to your talk, listen to your excuses, and ask yourself, is that excuse going to empower me, or is it going to disempower me? Because a lot of people live with imposter syndrome. I love this. Imposter syndrome. I've never seen this before or heard this before, but imposter syndrome is that people live with the absolute fear of being found out. So they'll prefer to do nothing and be nothing rather than do something and have other people find them out or just identify their weaknesses. Who cares? Don't worry about it. Because the other thing the author says, and I like the way she puts the spin on this, is that who I was does not dictate who I am or who I'm going to be or capable of being. So don't worry about those sorts of things. And the last couple of points is how it's important to be a social chameleon, to be able to change in order to fit in, and to trust your guidance system, your intuition. But by the same token, not to hide your feelings, but to be able to express them freely and openly without feeling as if you're going to be hammered. And as I said, it's important to hang out with people who are supportive, people who are going to be the wind beneath your wings. And we'll finish up with another couple of points. That the bottom line is that unresolved issues will always follow you. So you can never escape from your unresolved issues. So the call to action is to resolve your issues and don't try and run away from them. And to forgive, forget, and get on with life. And to also know that there are some people who are so broken that they're not capable of being loved or being loving. So you just need to understand that, and not to get hung up on the fact that there are people who struggle with being loved or giving love. Just be the source of love to those around you, and don't worry about their responses or being rejected. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, And most importantly, let's take some lessons from Mel Robbins, from her wonderful book, and just get on with life. Show up, turn up, be there, grin and bear it, because as we grow and develop, we are going to be better versions of ourselves. And just enjoy your wonderful Friday and have a happy weekend to everybody. Take care, and we'll chat again. Yassas. G'day Brownie, how you going, mate?